can state or factually that this is the absolute safest and highest yielding investment vehicle in America today.
Yeah, and matter of fact, I have a challenge for everybody. This is your thousand. This is how you can earn the $1,000 right now.
We'll FedEx it to you.
We'll FedEx it to you if you can do this. Okay, if you can show me a safer and more lucrative investment opportunity in the United States today that's legal, they can pay you a higher rate of return with more safety than tax lien certificates, I will personally send you $1,000 cash, dollar bills, to your house, and I will stop doing everything that I'm doing. I will stop the television show, and I will start investing in what you share with me. And it can't be done. It
Well,
can't be done.
that's the whole thing. Seriously, you show us a safer, combined with higher yielding investment vehicle than what we're showing you here. We will literally, without any exaggeration, stop what we're doing today and start following what you do.
Well, here's an example. I just got redeemed. Remember the other day?
Yeah.
I got redeemed on those what was it, 4 or 5 liens. I mean, they were no big deal. It was only $4,000 worth of lien. But I got my $4,000 back plus $700 worth of interest, whatever that was for that time period. And they just keep coming in. And during that time frame, look at all the turmoil that's happened worldwide. Oil prices, governments, the whole 9 yards. Gas prices going up. Gas prices going down. Stock market's going up. Stock market's going down. I mean, come on. Who cares? I'm making 16% on my money. Now, every single one of these property owners paid off. All but this property owner on Rosewood. No big deal. The investor in this situation had $276.27, and the assessed value, make them look as good as possible. Remember, assessed value is always lower than fair market value. Okay, is $57,000, and you've got a lot of leeway on this. Now, this person's in no danger of losing their property because remember, there is a 3-year redemption period in this example, and this actually makes a great case study. So watch this, okay? You got 3 examples. Number 1, okay, first year's taxes were $276.27. The property owner didn't pay those, okay? Second year's taxes weren't paid either, and those taxes were $269.21. So what happens is this. They say, hey, Mr. Investor or Mrs. Investor, thank you very much for putting up the money in the first place. Since you did, we're going to give you what we call, Tony, the first right of refusal. Now, that doesn't mean you have to do it. That doesn't mean you're obligated. Right of refusal. So all you would have to do is send a check in the mail to the county, and as soon as they get it, boom, you start earning 16% on that second dollar figure. No big deal. Okay, but let's say that you forgot for whatever reason. And Tony, let's say that you bought the second lien on this for $569. Let's say the third lien for $702 came up, and I bought that third one. It's no big deal because the first property owner has the first right. Everybody at home, pay attention. Their 3 years came up first. They aren't a better lien. They're more precious. It's just the 3 years runs up first. But Tony, in order to foreclose on this property at the end of the 3 years, the property owner would be required by law to bring up the rest of the taxes plus the interest rate. Okay, so you and I would both get redeemed plus our interest rate on that. That's kind of what happened here. Okay, the the investor bought the first tax lien certificate on this. They bought the third one, and they forgot to buy the second one for whatever reason.
Or they just chose not to.
Whatever, it doesn't really matter. In order to foreclose, they had to bring those up in current. Now, 3 years have come and gone. They have the opportunity to foreclose this property, and this is what happened here. You got $875 with the deed application. Everybody pay attention. They didn't foreclose on this property. They hired somebody to do it. Either the attorney or the county will help you out with this. Now, if you don't know who it is, just call my office and we'll help you out with that. That fee, write this down, will be anywhere from about, I'm going to say on the low side, to a couple $100, Tony, wouldn't you say? It's somewhere in that area. And the high side, about $1,500. Yeah, at the most. You know, you might get different scenarios in different areas, but let's just keep it ballpark right now. In this case, it was $875. So this investor's got $2,443.24 invested. But that $875 is part of the total. Okay? So that $875 equals $2,423.24 that the investor has plus 16%. So the property owner is not just responsible for the amount of the back taxes, but any costs that you've got incurred. And remember, The value of the property is $57,000. That's what you're secured by. You're locked in. Now let me show you the type of properties we want you buying liens on. Okay, this is a property. It's a nice property in a nice area. $57,000. You got $2,423.24 invested. We're just assuming this is you. We're going to walk this in your shoe. 16% on your money. Okay, so what happens is the attorneys in this case send out the certified letters. 60 days came and 60 days went, and nobody foreclosed on the property taxes. Or, excuse me, nobody redeemed the property taxes down to the county. The county sends the investor here out a certified letter, and in their certified letter is a deed to the property. They own it free and clear for $2,423.24. Now, before you get, is that a good real estate deal?
Phenomenal.
I mean, the real estate market there could depreciate 90% and then still break even. Okay, but let's just go through some basic scenarios here. We got the property. There's a couple of things you could do. Number one, you could sell the property. Okay, so what do? We call up a real estate. I don't live here. Let's say this is 2,000 miles away. Let's say I do live in Malaysia. It doesn't really matter. Okay, the property's 2,000 miles away. I get a hold of a realtor through the internet or
Online.
411. I mean, whatever, the old-fashioned way. You call up and you say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Realtor, I'd like you to take a drive by this property. Tell me what you think of it, and give me an opinion. They call you back up and say, hey, probably the market's going to bear about $60,000. What did you have in mind? Well, I want to sell it right away. Well, you may not know this, but the market's a little soft right now. And I think with the proper marketing, we could sell that property, for $60,000, say 3 months. And you say, I don't want to wait 3 months. Class, you say, I want to sell it for 30% below the fair market value, or $39,900 or best offer. Could you imagine that phone call, Tony? Well, let me ask you a question, Tony. In today's market, okay, if you list any property 30% below what the market is bearing, not what people think, or I remember back in the day, what the market is bearing, if you list it for 30% below the market value, how quickly is that property going to sell?
Same day. I mean, it literally, and it doesn't matter what. If we could pick the hardest hit markets in America. You pick the market, and I guarantee you list a property in that market like that for 30% below the fair market value of the property. Same day you'll have offers.
Oh, the realtor's probably putting you on hold and saying, we got a knucklehead on line one, bring your checkbook to the conference room, we got a deal.
Right.
30% below the market value. Now, let me ask you a question. Does everybody win?
Absolutely.
County wins.
Yep.
They get their property taxes. Okay? You win. You got rid of the property. The new owner, they win because they got it at a discount. That's a triple win, win, win all the way around. Okay? That's a net proceed of $33,240.69 at the end of the day. Think about that just for a minute. Okay? This is one transaction for $2,400. This is how we know, for those of you that have been hit hard on these financial economic times with your retirement account, we know we can help you turn that around. And that's not a lot of money, Tony. But you know what? To the people listening right now, that can give a lot of them some breathing room. Imagine for a minute, right now, getting a check in the mail for $33,240 net in the whole process. What would you do? Well, let me ask you this, Tony. Would that pay off some debt?
Well, I mean,
student loans?
If I think through all of the students who are involved in our program, the emails that receive and our advisors speak to people on the phone, let me tell you some of this. Here's what I know for a fact. It would absolutely give people freedom.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's not going to solve every financial challenge for every single person, but let me tell you.
This is just one deal, though.
Yeah, it's one deal.
Right.
Here's what I know. From the conferences we do together,
Mm-hmm. Right,
and talking to the advisors in our office who are in direct contact with our students, very rarely have I met a person who isn't just one deal away. Not one deal away from retirement, because you're not going to retire on one deal.
No.
One deal away from having breathing room. One deal away from being able to sleep better at night. One deal away from being on your way to financial freedom. Because once a person did a deal like this,
They're going to do another one.
right?
Yeah, it's not like you're sitting there going, okay, we only get one shot at this, honey. This happens all the time, and we're going to get to the numbers on how many are available in just a little bit. But this is
This is not an uncommon deal.
exactly. Well, let's talk about Bill and Olga. Bill and Olga are a couple that got involved in tax lien certificates with us. He's a photographer. That's his first passion. Okay, she's got her own stuff that she's doing. You know what? I'm getting nailed with my retirement account on this thing. I really want to spend full time doing my photography, and that's my.
He doesn't have any financial background.
No,
he's not some real estate guru. He's not some financial guru. He's a photographer.
He's got
an artist.
Yeah, he's got a passion. He's got something he wants to do. And unfortunately, he says, I'm tired of the ebbs and flows of this. And he says, I'm constantly looking over my shoulder at this retirement account. I never know what they're gonna get. This is what he said. I wanted safety, I wanted consistency, and I wanted predictability. And that's exactly what I got with your program. I've attached a spreadsheet that shows checks that I've received over the past few months. They total $24,354.37, and the checks just keep pouring in.
I think it's important to let everyone know, because everyone listening in, or most everyone listening in, saw your TV show. And because they saw your TV show, what people need to understand about TV shows like ours that are on TV right now, is the fact that every case study, every testimonial has to meet FTC approval. We have to have
documentation.
They have to be FTC compliant, meaning we can't show you this
without the documentation,
without having the file.
So look what he says. He says, "I've attached a spreadsheet." This guy, he is so organized with this stuff, and he loves it. It's like a spreadsheet. It comes in and comes in and comes in. He documented every single one. We're going to show you the checks actually in just a minute. Just a minute.
So I just want everyone to know that how strict the FTC is today, and how we cannot even show a case like this on TV or.
We've been doing that. We've been proving them since 1994.
Yep.
Everything's been documented. And what's best of all, what's best is that to make all this investment from home and other parts of the world when I'm traveling. Plus, I also have the unlimited ultimate security of the properties, which are now worth over $738,000. So again, back to what we were talking about before. Either get his checks back or he gets the property. That's the period end of story.
So he either gets cash flow check in the mail, or he gets $750,000 with the real estate.
Right. And look at the checks he's getting. Here's a check right here.
This is just a 30-day period.
This is only in 30 days. He gets a check for $4,135.72. Here's another one for $1,490.92. Here's another one for $3,751.62, totaling $9,378.26 in 30 days. In just 30 days.
Well, what's beautiful about that is he can't stop the checks from coming in. He's literally, so here's what's happening. He's out there doing his photography. That's his love. That's his passion.
Right.
That's what he does. He travels around the world taking pictures. And while he's traveling around the world taking pictures, $9,000 a month is pouring into his bank account without him having to work at it.
Right.
And that, I believe, is really what the biggest promise, the biggest hope fulfillment, and that it was for you and I,
right,
is to be able to have this consistent, predictable monthly cash flow that comes in every single month, no matter what. And if for some reason that $9,000 didn't show up, guess what?
$700,000 worth of real estate would show up
instead.
Yeah.
And darn. And here's, when I look at a case study like Bill and Olga, and I realize that they have no financial genius in them at all. They have no education in financial investing or real estate investing. I know for a fact, every single person listening in right now, and here's what we know for a fact. Bill and Olga's first taxes were a few $100s.
Yep.
They started off.
Just wanted to get their feet wet.
Just wanted to get their feet wet. They learned the process and started getting cash flow checks in the mail and began reinvesting the capital and built it up to this point. Everyone listening in right now, I know for a fact, have the basic skill set to do the exact same thing that Bill and Olga are doing right now.
And see, and here's the other thing. Well, that's Bill and Olga, and what if there's not enough left for us, and all this stuff. And folks, I can't go through all the markets, but let me just tell you something. We know every single market, how many liens are available on a consistent basis. And the numbers are just staggering. I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but write this down. There are 5,013 jurisdictions, 5,013 taxing jurisdictions. I'll give you an example of just a couple. Here's one right here with 150 to 200 investors, 21,380 liens. Here's another one, Miami-Dade, 175 investors, 35,000 liens. So in these two counties alone, okay, you've got 56,380 liens, okay? You've got 125 investors. Now, just so you understand, that's tens of millions of dollars worth of liens for 325 investors. You get 173 liens per investors if they were to divide them up, okay? And that's just in two jurisdictions. Tony, in Chicago, last year, there were 96,000 liens available. At the end of their sale, they had 44,000 left over, and they're paying 36%. 36%. It's just insane. And they had 44,000 left over, and they've been doing it for years. So there's plenty to go around. I mean, you're not going to, don't worry, we're not letting the cat out of the bag. I mean,
think about this. That's 3 taxing jurisdictions in the entire United States.
There was one area, Tony, remember this one? We had 11,000 liens on this one particular list that represented $98 million in tax liens, and this county was paying 30%, or 30% per annum, and these were the leftovers.
Right.
Leftover liens, and we got a ton of them from there. So there's plenty to go around. So let's go over a couple of the questions that a lot of people have at this point. You know, what if somebody does file bankruptcy, Tony? You know, what happens with that? That's one of the questions we got on there. Nothing. And somebody can file bankruptcy, and I don't want to get into the law. We don't have time for it on this particular training. We've got other ones you can listen to on that. But nothing happens. The IRS, or the bankruptcy, they can file bankruptcy. All it's going to do is delay the inevitable, which is
interest. Yeah. So interest still accrues.
Interest still accrues.
You're in first position. You get paid first.
They don't get eliminated. You don't get eliminated. So it's fair. The other one is the IRS. What happens if the IRS comes in? And again, you know, you got to know a little bit more about history financially in this country, but the IRS is actually a relatively new organization. They tried to institute them in what was the 1800s after the Civil War, but they finally got approval in I think it was 2000 or 1913, excuse me, just about 100 years ago. So again, these are state statutes. This takes precedence over everything, and that includes the IRS. It's written in the IRS codes, and I'm not going to get into any of that, but you don't have to worry about it. The other thing is, what about a natural disaster? What if I buy a lien on a property and there's a flood, there's a fire, there's an earthquake, there's a hurricane, there's a riot, there's a tsunami, there's a blah, 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 all the way down the line. And so let's just take this. Let's say we buy a $500 lien on a $200,000 property. Where's most of the value in that property, Tony?
In the land.
In the land. So even if we do get a property back, and you know, whatever, it's burnt to the ground, and I got $2,000 in it, I'm much better off if I had not done anything at all. So, you know, again, what if I get hit by a bus crossing the street after I buy a lien? There isn't a scenario that you're not going to be in a better situation.
Well, the thing is, we can only worry about what we can actually control.
Exactly.
And the things we can control, we can account for in the research process.
Exactly. Now, the other thing is the auctions. There's really three different types of auctions out there, and I'm just going to go through them really quick, take some notes on this. There's bidding down the interest rate, so I'll show you how that works. You know, 16%, who's ever willing to accept the lowest interest rate is a successful bidder. Number 2, there is rotational bidding. This was done in Douglas, Nebraska, Douglas County, Nebraska, just recently. You know, again, it just goes, you know, goes around until everybody's got a property and starts back over again. So it's rotational bidding. And then there's premium bidding, which basically says I'll take a $500 lien for 18%. Somebody says I'll take it for $505. And that $5, Tony, you're not going to get back. So that effectively lowers your interest rate on it. And we'll talk more about that later. But I really want to get into assignment purchase.
Yeah. So again, at the beginning of the presentation, I said, you know, write this down. It's called assignment purchase. And this is, I mean,
and that's the spelling for everybody that's watching it.
And here's what's important about assignment purchasing. Is Sean and I have been doing this for 20 years now, and we know other people out there that have attempted to teach on tax liens or public information on say public information on the internet. I don't know who has mastered the strategy of assignment purchasing. I challenge you to ask if you know anybody else in the tax lien certificate investment space. Ask them about assignment purchasing, and just listen to the answer.
Right, it starts getting really wambly.
Yeah, and just listen to. That's even if they even know what it is. If you ask someone about assignment purchasing, and they don't know what the answer is, then here's what you do: run.
Well, and another thing is most anybody out there that's doing tax lien with about 100% accuracy, it's done through our focus, of course.
Well, I mean, here's the reality. I mean, let's talk a little bit about our history, and then we'll jump right into assignment purchasing. We began investing in tax lien certificates in 1990.
November 1991.
And soon thereafter, and back in November of 1991, there was no such thing as a training manual on investing in tax lien certificates. There was no such thing as an audio course on investing in tax lien certificates. There was no training whatsoever. And so what Sean and I did over the next 3 years, we gathered intelligence, we gathered information, we combed through statutes,
we were like super spies.
Yeah,
we were everywhere,
and
broke.
Yeah.
When we first started, just so you understand, my first lien was $54, so we didn't have a whole lot of money.
Mine was a little over 200. Yeah. And just understand, it took us over 3 years to compile all of the data to create the very first training course, training manual, audio training. That was in 1994.
And the first people we started teaching, Tony, remember, were doctors and lawyers on this whole subject that wanted to know about this. And, you know, somebody invited us to the conference, and that's how we got started. So ever since then, we've literally taught more people face-to-face worldwide than anybody on planet Earth.
That's indisputable. And if you want to look at, you know, and here's the true fact. You know, Sean and I have completed over 2,300 successful tax lien certificate and tax resale property deals in our career. And that's
not for somebody else.
Not for somebody else. That's our personal transaction.
Right.
And so I don't know anybody out there who's teaching on investment in tax liens, who has also been doing it longer than we have, who has also completed more successful transactions than we have. And so we're saying all of this just so we want you guys to know, and then you'll probably understand it by now, you're in good hands. When it comes to how to make a fortune with tax liens, you're in good hands because Sean and I learned it one way, starting from scratch with not a nickel in our pocket.
And sorry, because not a books or tapes or audio or whatever.
So we continue to do this. So everything has been designed based upon our experience. So assignment purchasing is a strategy that was designed.
I just got back $4,726
from assignment purchasing.
Right. I just got the email 72 hours ago.
Right.
So this is an ongoing purpose.
So do this right now. If you've been surfing the internet, you know, close down your other browsers. If you're texting people on the phone, you know, shut your phone off for a minute. Close the door and make sure you can be extremely focused right now.
Yeah, because I see a couple of you are looking at other website stuff. We can actually see what you're doing on your screen.
Yeah, we're watching you.
Remember, we're super spies.
And really pay attention to this section. And Sean just had a slide up, and it shows you 96,000 tax lien certificates in Chicago, and 44,000 were left over. Here's what most people do not understand and do not know. Those 44,000 tax liens, number one, there is a ton of phenomenal investments still in there. The reason 44,000 are left over is because there just aren't enough people at the sale.
Right.
And in addition to that,
and they're paying 36%, so it's not like the interest rate was that.
Yeah,
your interest rate is locked in, your redemption period is locked in. There is no bidding process. You do it at your leisure. You do it from home, and a number of different things.
So that 44,000 is available, and you can acquire them directly from the county if you know how.
And there's 4 things you need. Number 1, you need to know the interest rate and the redemption period that the county is offering on that. I want to know my interest rate, my redemption period. Number 2, I need to have my AP form letter. Okay, this is assignment purchasing contact information. Jumping ahead. You need to have the person at the county that actually is the one that does it. I know a lot of people go, well, you just go to the county and find out. Okay, come on. good luck on that. I mean, you know, just go to your directories. We've got those all lined up for you, and you're good to go. Number 3, you need the AP form letter. And that's a short assignment purchase form letter, short for assignment purchase form letter. It's got to be an approved AP form letter to get it, so that when they get it, they got the form, they staple it to it, and boom. And then number 4 is research, and then more research. Which we're going to go to in just a second on that. So we'll show you what that's all about.
Yeah, here's the thing we want you to understand is the secret, if you want to call it the secret, or to make an apportionment with taxing is the research. The research process is everything. And we have a proprietary 14-step research process that we teach all of our students. It's in your book.
Yeah, there's no double secret James Bond thing here. It's about actually following the steps, and like we said in the beginning, doing what we tell you to do. And so let me just show you what's going to happen. When you start sending out your AP form letters to the county and going through that whole process, you're going to get some catalogs of liens back in the mail. And I'll give you an example of how this works. You're going to have thousands and thousands and thousands of liens to choose from, and what we're going to do is show you how to kind of circumvent that system, nail them down, and reduce them to the ones that you really want to do.
Yeah, and so here's what we're going to show you. Just for the moment, assume that you sent out your AP form letter.
Right.
Sent it to the right contact person. They responded. The list we're going to show you actually had 11,000 tax lien certificates on it, over $98 million worth of tax liens on it.
Oh, this is what I was talking about earlier. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't realize we were going to show this.
Yeah,
it's great.
Okay. And so what I want you to show is on the very far right, that's the price of the tax lien. So I want to show you that there's multiple. I mean,
we didn't miss a zero on that. That's $10.
There's multiple pages of tax lien certificates paying 30% interest per year, and that you could acquire right now for $10. The fair market value on that property is $7,000. So you acquire the tax lien, and if the person does not redeem, you get a $7,000 property for $10.
Exactly. That's on the low side.
That's on the
Let's
low
turn
side.
the page here. Here's another one here for you big hitters, $17,403.42. That's the amount of the lien. And I think, Tony, if I'm not mistaken, this one was paying 30%.
So it's paid for
30%. And the value on this property was $647,000. So, again, you either get 30% on $17,403.42, or you get a $650,000 property. I think
$17,000.
Yeah, I think we just went to Vegas and won. What do you think?
Well, here's the other beauty of it. What we didn't share yet is this market for this list has a 4-month redemption period. So you can either get your cash flow check in the mail in 4 months,
or you get
the $650,000 property.
Do we have any pictures of some of these properties?
Yeah. So if you put this next one.
Yeah. Let me show you this. Let me show you. Oh, here's a nice one coming up. This is great. So here's one from this list. Here's the property, single-family residential property on Wheeler Street, middle-class neighborhood, assessed value. And Tony, typically assessed value is always lower than fair market value.
Right.
Wouldn't you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Okay, so assessed value of $180,000. The tax lien on it was $1,186.24, and it's paying 4-month redemption period. So that equals 30% because it was a 10% penalty over that time period. So the worst case scenario is actually 30%. I mean,
Right.
in reality, if they redeemed in the first month, Tony, you would have got 120% return.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
And here's the beauty of it. You look at this property, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you think, would I mind owning that property for
Absolutely.
$1,100? Right?
I don't know the roof for $1,100,
Right?
You know,
so
whatever.
here's the option. Just like we said before, understand, we took $11,000 properties, and based upon our research...
No, 11,000.
Yeah, 11,000 properties.
And based on the 14 steps, yeah.
Based on the research process, we used some of the properties we ended up with.
Here's another one right here. This one here is on Oak Street.
Yeah.
Oak Street, $277,000 assessed value on this property. About $4,000 of back taxes on it. Here's a I think this is a 6-unit. Yeah, 6-unit. $250,000 on the value on the property. $11,000 in back taxes. Paying.
Here's the question: would you mind owning that 6-unit building for $11,000?
Well, here's the upside here. You either get the property or you get a check. Get the property or you get a check. Get the property or you get a check. one of the two things are going to happen. Here's a property right here. Okay, this property was acquired for. Here's the deed on it. It's $1,085.06.
Well, this is what Bill and Ola are doing, right? So they're getting cash flow checks in the mail,
Mhm.
cash flow checks in the mail, every now and then a cash flow check doesn't come in, and they get a deed to the property. So here's a deed to a tax sale property. This is as you can see, it's a recorded, executed deed,
Mhm.
and they acquired it for $1,085. Here's the actual picture of the property on here. Look at this, right? Well, there it is. That's beautiful. Fair market value is $61,917. Again, here's the deed on on that particular deal, and there's the property itself on there. Who in here would not buy that property for what was it, 11? Yeah, 1,000. Yeah, that was called $1,100. $1,100. Wow, what a beautiful property on there. I mean, that thing's absolutely gorgeous. Well, and here's the thing: if people look at that, and go, "Wow, that was a lucky shot." We have hundreds and hundreds. We could spend one of these webinars and just go through deal after deal after deal. Here's the property. Here's the deed. Here's the property. Here's the deed. Here's the property.
Good remedy for insomnia.
Right. Well,
I mean, it just gets old. We got binders and binders and binders of this. And another thing, some of you are thinking, this is all great because you guys know what you're doing and all that. But folks, we're giving you all the information. We're showing you how to do this. And actually, at the very end of this, Tony, I want to let everybody know that you will have an opportunity to work with us a lot closer to Tony and I. We've got some special training lined up for you and all that other good stuff. So stick around for that.
Well, here's the thing. I want everyone to know. This is going to be an opportunity for you to work directly with Sean.
Absolutely.
Meaning not one of our advisors.
And they do a great job. But I mean, there's only so much that we can do. And so with the whole technology thing that we've embraced. I mean, right now, just with a few of you that are on the call right now, I mean, what would the opportunity then be in the past to be able to speak to all these? There's literally hundreds of people. We can't have more than 1,000 people on these calls at a time because our technology just isn't there yet.
Right.
But still, I mean, what it would have been like for me to be able to do this? It's impossible. So we'll get to that in a little bit.
So let me just come back to this house. So listen, this could be a property that you acquired yourself. This could have been a tax lien that you acquired this property. You go, well, if that property's out of state, what would I do with it? And here's what I would do. As a beginning investor, I would just sell it.
Yeah.
Just put cash in your pocket. You could literally put this on the open market right now for $45,000, and it would sell today.
You can put them for $10,000 and you just get 10 times your money.
Exactly.
Oh no, they paid $11,000. So yeah, almost 10,000, or sell it for 11,000, and you just 10 times your money on that.
And again, everyone listening in,
that's a technical term. 10 times your money.
Yes. Should be doing deals just like this. And again,
well, let me ask you this: everybody listening, I want you to do some math. If you did this deal twice in 1 year, would that replace the current income at your job that you're getting in your car, sitting in traffic, staring at that computer screen, dropping kids at daycare, picking them back up? I mean, I can go down the line on this stuff and sitting there going, what? And two deals. So let's back on our investment. Let's round it down, Tony, to $60,000. That's $120,000. And let me tell you what I know for a fact. Fact is, in the United States of America, less than 5% of the population are making over $100,000 a year. So let's just say that you spent the first year learning tax lien certificates. Let's get crazy and say you never did a deal. Then after that year, you made $120,000 for the rest of your life, and all you had to do was 2 deals. Oh my goodness! What would you do with all the extra time?
What if we helped them?
What if we took you by the hand and helped you do it?
And step by step, at least through your first couple of deals.
Absolutely. Deal in 30 days.
Yep.
Deal in 30 days. So now let's talk about this.
So here's the question I want to ask. So what if you could do what about just going straight and getting the property? See the property right there? What if you could just get property?
Oh yeah, there you go. Skip the redemption period. You want to talk about that?
Here's the second biggest secret. It's called tax resale property. And this is where you can go straight to acquiring property. Now I want to take you back to the Chicago, Illinois example. And remember, there's 44,000 tax lien certificates that were left over. Well, there's going to come a time where where the redemption period on those tax lien certificates expires. And when those tax redemption period expires, what a lot of counties will do is a lot of counties will actually foreclose on those tax lien certificates and take title to the property themselves. So now they're county-owned properties. Again, when they're county-owned properties, remember, they're still not generating any revenue to the county. So they're county-owned. They need to put them back on the tax roll. What the county will do, they'll offer them to people like you and I.
And just to back that now, let's be some clear there, Tony. Though, when you put up the money with back taxes, there is no redemption period.
Right.
There is no interest
Already
rate.
expired.
You own the property free and clear.
clear.
So your research is going to be a little more intense on this. You're purchasing the property outright. Everything's done. You own it free and clear. You're good to go.
Let me give you an example. We're going to show you a case study here of a tax resale property case study, so you can see the type of money that's being made with tax resale property. And these are some students of ours. You may have they were on the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, Paul and Deborah Ward. Yeah, this is a great little deal. The funny thing about this is Paul and Deborah are just so normal as far as our clients are concerned. He was working a job, she was working a job. She gets laid off, I do believe is what happened. Yep. And then he gets his hours cut. So we go from a 2-income family, 4 kids. You can see they got Southern California, and all of a sudden they're going, they're trying to breathe. It's, oh my goodness, lifestyle has completely changed. They did what we told them to do, and this is what followed. This is we can't believe it, right here in our own backyard. We simply follow the steps and principles of the Get Tax Lien program, soaked up what we learned through your Houston tour. Awesome tour. This is right here. We're so excited to have our retirement funds working for us, and we'll talk about that in a positive way. It's in real estate and out of the stock market. Now, instead of losing 30 to 50% of our retirement, and by the way, Tony, they actually had moved their money from their traditional retirement account to a super advanced QRP, and so that they had all their money available to buy tax lien certificates. It was out of the market when they collapsed. Per our recommendation, we actually made close to $200,000 in one day by acquiring this home with our retirement fund. The support network that you have in place is incredible. It's the lifeline that keeps this opportunity real. Our experience has been life-changing because of your program. We love this opportunity and are so grateful for it. And here's the property that they were actually acquired there. And I mean, come on, who wouldn't want a property like that? I do believe they've got an income on that property of about $1,600 a month.
Yeah, they. What I wanted to, the reason why I like us to kind of leave off with the tax resale property strategy is because we do a lot of smaller deals, case studies throughout the presentation.
Right.
And I also want people to know, though, we're not going to shy away from the fact
that there's big deals out there.
There's big deals out. Not only are there big deals out there,
First of the year, office building, fully leased out with attorneys in real estate, $350,000 property, buy for the back end.
Right. Period. So I mean, there's so many big deals as well that don't necessarily, they won't cost you hundreds of. I mean, like we saw a deal for $11,000, right? An $11,000 tax lien for
quarter of a million, 16 apartments,
right? And again, you look at Deborah and Paul, and they made $200,000 on one property. Chop it in half, right? How many deals? Just like you said, I mean, I love that just thought, because it doesn't take all day, every day to do a deal like that.
Right. And here's the thing. I get people who sit there and say, well, I need to make money right now. Okay, well, stop what you're doing and let's go at this. And if you just, and your job usually isn't the problem, but I mean, if you knew you were going to do just one deal, Tony, let's say you were going to make $50,000 on a deal, and you knew you were going to do that once a year, would that change your attitude at the job you have? Because most of you like your job. Most of you really do enjoy what it is that you do. It's fulfilling. Nothing wrong with that. I enjoy teaching you guys. I enjoy doing some of this stuff. I guess you could call it a job. I don't know. The point is you have $50,000 coming in on top of that. Boy, that sure does make that job and choices Some of you want to stay at home with you. Some of you don't have a choice and you have to stay home because the job opportunity just isn't there for you. The point is that makes that decision a lot easier when you have financial reasons.
What we want to do now is we want to talk to you guys about a new program that Sean and I have designed and developed where you can work directly with Sean and I.
This is a client-driven program. This is something you guys have asked for, so here it is.
And again, what we want to do right now is we're going to walk you through. There's actually 5 components to our taxing certificate protege program.
Working with us.
Working directly with Sean and I over the next 12 months. What I want you guys to do right now is, again, have a clean sheet of paper to write on, and I want you to really pay close attention to all 5 components. And then what you're going to see is you're going to see a very, very special pricing for this particular new program that we have. And a couple of things I want you guys to know about right now is we reward people who take action, and we give big rewards to people who take action fast. So what's going to happen is, as we're going through the presentation, at some point, you're going to see a big red button pop up that says Enroll Now.
Right.
When you see that big red button pop up that says Enroll Now, click the button, and what's going to happen is this. The first 5 people who enroll for our program today, we're going to give you a personal one-on-one strategy session with either Sean or I. You pick, doesn't matter to us. And what we're going to do is we're going to spend 30 minutes on the phone. And what we're going to do in that 30 minutes is either Sean or I are going to talk to you directly, and we're going to ask you about your current situation. We're going to ask you exactly what you want to accomplish, and based upon the conversation, we're going to lay out a specific step-by-step strategy that's customized for you. And that, again, understand you guys, it's only for the first 5 that gets the customized strategy session, mentoring session with Sean and I. And then the other thing we want you to know is that
we're limiting it.
Yeah,
this is not for everybody. Period.
The way we run our online courses and this one-year protege program is in a class of 25 people.
There's no way possible that we can take and work with 50,000 people.
Well,
it doesn't work.
Well, here's what's going to happen. People go, well, that's just a marketing thing that you guys are doing. You're going to take more than 25. Hey, here's the reality. Absolutely, every class maxes out at 25 people. So number 26, you might be number 26. You're not getting into the first class. 26 will be put on the waiting list.
Right.
Now we say that just so that you guys understand and are clear on how